So apparently the Supreme Court is deciding whether the federal government has 3 branches or 4. Because for the last 90 years, we've basically been living under the rule of the untouchables, the agencies, the people you didn't vote for, and the people you can't fire. But somehow they can fire you with fines, penalties, and rules they wrote themselves. And this case finally asks, yeah, is this constitutional, or have we been play acting a republic since FDR? Like we've been solving a mystery in broad daylight while the real culprit has been picking the Constitution's pocket in the next room. First up, Justice Gorsuch seems to be playing the role of Benoit Blanc from the movie Knives Out. He's calmly peeling back layer after layer until the real culprit finally slips. The culprit isn't a person, but a theory. Argued here by Amit Agarwal, the lawyer representing the Biden administration and the broader bureaucratic state. He's putting forth a theory that agencies can quietly pocket powers the Constitution never gave them, hoping no one notices until it's too late.
I just want to explore, just for a brief minute, I hope, your scintilla of conclusive and preclusive power theory. You agree, I assume, the president is vested with all the executive power?
Yes.
You agree that he has a duty to faithfully execute all the laws?
Yes.
Civil and criminal?
We agree that the Constitution imposes on the president a duty to faithfully execute the laws.
All
Absolutely.
the laws?
Well,
there some laws he doesn't have to? That'd be news to our friends across the street.
The take care clause is a duty, and it is also a power, but the text of the clause does not provide that the president must have at-will presidential...
I didn't ask that. This is, does he have a duty to faithfully execute all the laws?
We know from...
Yes or no?
I would say no in the sense...
No.
In the sense that, let me... There's 2 different questions, and I want to make sure that I'm answering the question.
The question is, does the president have a duty to faithfully execute all the laws? The answer is no. Why?
So he can't break the law for sure. For sure. Does he have to be vested with statutory authority to actually directly enforce, or to exercise?
I'm not asking whether he has to bring the indictment. I'm asking whether he has a duty to faithfully execute the laws.
I think the president does not, under both history and tradition, have to have plenary power of supervision. But in the case of the FTC, he does have some power of supervision, including if there's a demonstrable, palpable violation of law, the president could absolutely fire a commissioner of the FTC under the plain language of the statute.
So the answer is no, I guess. So that means if the government wants to bring a misdemeanor, that person has to be reportable to the president. But if the government wants to bring ruinous fines and penalties and injunctions, that person doesn't.
I don't know the scope of this court's holding in Trump v. United States.
I'm asking you for your theory, because it's a very interesting theory. You're building off of 2 words from Trump versus United States and putting a gloss on it that I'm not familiar with. I'd understood the executive power, and he has conclusive and preclusive authority of that. But this line, I don't know where it comes from.
And
I'm wondering, I'll be honest, I'll put my cards on the table. Maybe it's a recognition that Humphrey's executor was poorly reasoned, and that there is no such thing in our constitutional order as a 4th branch of government that's quasi-judicial and quasi-legislative.
Yeah, when the government lawyer can't bring himself to say the president enforces all the laws, that's usually a sign he's trying to smuggle a constitutional coup past the 9 people least likely to fall for it. Or in this case, 6 of the 9. Gorsuch basically said, I think we've created a shadow government and just hoped no one would notice. Shockingly, Justice Jackson sees it differently. To her, the president, the one people voted for, yeah, he's the threat.
I don't understand why it is that the thought that the president gets to control everything can outweigh Congress's clear authority and duty to protect the people in this way.
In that alternate worldview, the president must be contained and the agencies must be empowered for your safety. Justice Kavanaugh circles back to Ketanji Jackson's constitutional perversion to expose the real agenda.
I want to give you a chance to deal with the hard hypothetical. A when both houses of Congress and president are controlled by the same party, them creating a lot of these independent agencies with or extending some of the current independent agencies into these kinds of situations so as to thwart future presidents of the opposite party.
Translation, we see what you're doing. And look at what the noble bureaucracy has actually been doing. With USAID, they've been laundering taxpayer money to unknown foreign entities. Medicaid was quietly expanded to cover illegal migrants. And hello, COVID, over $200 billion in COVID relief fraud, the largest theft of public money in U.S. history. Yeah, but no, clearly the real danger is Trump firing an FTC commissioner. This case, or I think we should call it a criminal case, is about who gets to run the executive branch. The president elected by we the people, or a self-perpetuating managerial class that answers to no one. And here's the plot twist. The Supreme Court already struck down the Chevron doctrine, the rule that let agencies interpret laws however they wanted. That decision didn't just narrow bureaucratic power, it blew up the foundation they stood on. Meaning, whether you love Trump or hate him, the court, with Trump's Supreme Court justices, is dismantling the Fourth Estate brick by brick. Call it providence or timing, but maybe God is using the most unlikely man to pull power back from the managerial class and return it to the people. And now for the big plot. As this whole movie has been playing out for the past 9-10 years, we've been told the president was the villain, the dangerous one, the unstable one, the guy we need saving from. But this single Supreme Court case suggests something very different. Maybe the real culprit, the murderer in this constitutional mystery, isn't the duly elected president at all. Maybe it's the unelected bureaucrats, the government oligarchs, the Fourth Estate that's been hiding in plain sight. And now that someone's finally pulling back the curtain, they're knives out, trying to protect the power they stole from we the people. I'm Brian Tettamore with today's Faith Check. Hey, what do you think? Like and subscribe if you appreciate content like this that challenges us to think better. Comment below. And remember, think right to live free.